China's influence faces an unexpected challenge it never foresaw. The tariffs imposed by Mexico are not simple financial adjustments, but tactical measures that are changing the balance of world trade. China, accustomed to being the main actor in markets, now faces an opponent that is setting the rules. Each Mexican tariff is a clear signal that a new norm for global trade is being created here. Mexico does not act as a passive observer of international trade giants. Every economic change reflects a deep understanding of power in the modern world. It is a strategy that leverages geographic location, infrastructure, and trade agreements to strengthen its position. By establishing these tariffs, Mexico is marking the path for a new trade conflict. Now it is Mexico that establishes rules affecting entire supply chains, from industrial production to the technology sector. The country demonstrates that it can decide what goods are imported under what conditions. Each step is calculated to maximize its own benefit and extend influence beyond its borders. This is not an isolated action, but a constant pattern of intelligent decisions that limit China's ability to impose its own rules. Most importantly, Mexico does not depend on external approval. Its strength emerges from its economic sovereignty and leveraging its strategic advantage against the United States. Tariffs are instruments of power that are changing the way negotiations are conducted globally. Mexico no longer follows, Mexico leads. Global markets are accustomed to predictable flows, but the introduction of these tariffs shakes that stability and forces China to reconsider its entire strategy. Mexico does not need a large army or military sanctions to exercise its influence. Its most powerful weapon is its geographic location. Strategically located between two oceans and direct neighbor to the world's largest economy, Mexico controls trade routes that are crucial for global commerce. This position allows it to determine what enters and what exits, making the country an actor that China cannot ignore despite its size. Each tariff introduced by Mexico acquires much greater significance in this context. They are instruments that leverage the country's privileged position. By controlling strategic routes, Mexico can negotiate and impose its will without needing direct confrontations. China, accustomed to dominating through mass production and low prices, faces an obstacle it cannot overcome simply by increasing exports. The northern border has become a space for logistical innovation that is profoundly changing commercial dynamics. Distribution centers and technological infrastructure give Mexico the ability to accelerate or redirect commercial flows according to its strategic objectives. The effect is twofold. Mexico strengthens its industry and creates jobs, while forcing China to adapt and assume additional costs. This example shows how a country can transform a geographic location into a powerful instrument of economic power. For decades, China built its global power on low-cost production. But Mexico, with strategic tariff decisions, is fundamentally transforming this reality. Each tax on Chinese products neutralizes China's main strength, competing exclusively with low prices. When Mexico increases the entry costs of Chinese products to the U.S. market, cheap Chinese production becomes a financial risk. The tariffs imposed by Mexico promote the relocation of production to its territory, creating a new configuration in the global supply network. International companies begin to see Mexico as a strategically strong alternative to China. This dynamic strengthens Mexican industry and forces China to assume additional costs. When Mexico imposes strategic tariffs, each measure is designed to consolidate the national industrial base. By increasing the entry costs of Chinese products, a direct incentive is created for Mexican companies to produce more domestically. This protects existing industries and promotes the creation of new jobs. Mexico's strategy demonstrates that industrial strength is built through intelligent policies that boost national production. Tariffs act as a stimulus to reduce dependence on imports and manufacture essential products in the country. While China faces restrictions, Mexico positions itself as a strategic partner that generates confidence and attracts foreign direct investment. Mexico has recognized that industrial strength alone is not sufficient. The key lies in connecting production with its own technological infrastructure. Data centers, advanced telecommunications networks, and secure communication systems are strategic tools that determine who dominates markets. This technological infrastructure allows the country to monitor and optimize supply chains. Technological independence reduces dependence on external providers and strengthens the ability to make quick decisions in international trade. Investment in telecommunications opens the door to new growth sectors. Startups, artificial intelligence, and digital commerce find a reliable environment in Mexico. This positions the country as a technological center with influence in America and beyond. Global companies begin to see Mexico as a technological hub that unites industry and strategy. Mexico has proven that economic sovereignty also requires a strategic security system. By strengthening cybersecurity and logistical coordination, Mexico ensures that its industrial advances are not vulnerable to external actors. In this era, power is measured by the ability to protect information and trade routes that sustain the economy. The country understands that competition in the 21st century is not just about producing more, but innovating faster and more intelligently. Mexican software and digital solutions begin to challenge markets that were previously considered exclusive to foreign giants. These startups not only create jobs but also change global dynamics. U.S. companies must now see Mexico as a serious competitor that often offers equivalent solutions more quickly and flexibly. The combination of technological infrastructure and incentive policies has created an environment where entrepreneurs can grow without depending on foreign capital. These digital startups function as amplifiers of influence. Their ability to innovate positions Mexico as a creator of solutions that influence the world economy. This changes the narrative about the country. Mexico is no longer a nation that follows trends, but the one that sets them. The Mexican strategy is clear. Through selective tariffs on technology products, Mexico forces China to reconsider its role while creating incentives for global companies to establish research centers in the country. This positions Mexico as a central actor in the region's technological innovation. The effects are shown on multiple levels. The Mexican economy modernizes. Sectors begin to manufacture high technology within their borders. Mexico's stance toward China changes drastically. The country becomes an indispensable node in the global technology chain. While Mexico redefines the global technology scene, its influence extends beyond borders. The Mexican strategy sends a clear message to all of Latin America. A country in the region can take leadership and establish norms in world trade. This example has a multiplier effect in the region, as others observe how Mexico projects global influence. Latin America is no longer seen as dependent economies, but is recognized as territory capable of generating strategic power. Mexico demonstrates that the combination of sovereignty, technology, and tariff policy creates an inspiring model for the entire region. Mexico proves that it is not necessary to be the largest economy to project power. The application of strategic tariffs positions Mexico as an active protagonist in decisions that affect the global economy. International prestige is based on strategic intelligence and economic autonomy. This dynamic improves Mexico's image as a reliable leader within Latin America. It shows that a Latin American country is capable of making bold decisions that have worldwide impact. The political capital acquired has long-term strategic implications and promotes more equitable alliances with other nations. Mexico redefines the concept of national influence. It does not depend on size, but on strategic vision and calculated decisions. With consolidated international prestige, Mexico exercises influence that directly affects China's strategic calculations. Each measure implemented by Mexico represents a strategic cost for China. The loss of access to the Mexican market means losing ground in a key region. Mexico forces China to reconsider its routes and penetration tactics. These effects are not only financial in nature, but also a blow to influence. Each Chinese company faces logistical and competitive obstacles. forcing Beijing to adapt to rules it does not control. Mexico has reached a level where it is no longer just a participant in the world economy, but an arbiter that can dictate conditions. As an arbiter, Mexico redefines how great powers assess risks. China must adapt to rules it does not control, while the United States observes how Mexico influences trade flows. The effect of this authority goes beyond the economy. Mexico demonstrates that sovereignty and long-term vision can grant real influence without needing military confrontations. The trade war becomes a playing field where Mexico establishes rules and decides who advances. If, today, you have understood Mexico's strength and strategy, do not let this message stay only with you. Make the world recognize that Mexico is not simply another country, but a nation that determines its own destiny and challenges the greatest powers on the planet. And if Mexico can already challenge the world's second-largest economy, how far could this nation go if it deployed all its potential without limits?